to our spring equinox practice. Today we will work a little bit on the core. We're coming out of our hibernation from the winter, a time of darkness and a lot of turning in, self-reflection. And now it's springtime, so there's going to be more light and there's a new energy. We'll be opening the heart as well to stimulate like prana. We'll do some breath work and that energy for sprouting and new life. So maybe sprouting new projects, new ideas. So let's just start seated. Get yourself as comfortable as you can be. If you're at home, you might find having a block, and if you have a bolster or a cushion or a couple of blocks for the end of the practice, that will be helpful as well. Yeah. So as you are, if you like, you can close your eyes and start to tune into your breath. Bringing your mind into the sensations of breathing. So feeling the breath come in through the nostrils and really feeling the expansive quality of the inhale. And then as you exhale, the lungs deflate. You can feel the breath coming out of the nostrils. And you can use your breath as an anchor throughout your practice, an anchor for your mind to come back to. And if you like, you could bring your hands over your heart or in prayer for a moment. Connecting with your heart. Tuning in. And you can inquire, is there any are there any new desires, new inspirations that you are ready to cultivate? Are there any seeds that have been germinating through this darker and slower winter season? It could also be a time of more active healing, if there's any healing work that you're ready for. So you can set an intention for your practice today. You can set an intention as we move into spring. And if nothing arises for you, that's fine. Just resting in curiosity here at your heart. And we'll add some vibration here with the sound of the om. So the bumblebees, the Brahmari breath, we'll be adding that to our practice today. You could close your mouth and just relax your tongue inside and empty your lungs, and we'll take a deep breath to hum. Yummy vibrations inside the body, inside the mind. You could release your hands down if you like when you're ready. Softly open your eyes. Let's just stretch out the legs for a moment, release any tension that might have happened from sitting. And then we'll come into a child's pose with your knees together in this variation. It's always your choice, but you could do knees together if you like. And you'll curl down, either if your forehead reaches the mat. If not, you could place a block under your forehead. And you can send your arms back this time if you like, as an option. So your shoulders sort of round and your fingertips reach back. And you could imagine that you're a little seed here in child's pose. Connect with your breath. Remember your intention. Or just tune into your breath. Getting ready to sprout with the upcoming spring. And we'll add a bumblebee breath here. Empty your lungs. Deep inhale. And then as you're ready, you can come up from child's and we'll lower onto the belly. When you get down, you could relax your feet and maybe rock your pelvis a little bit side to side just to release any tension in the low back. Supporting yourself with your hands in front of you or your arms in front of you. So maybe taking your elbows out, maybe palms stacked, whatever feels good for you. And then you can stay here we're gonna lift the upper body with the neck neutral. We're gonna find a Sphinx or your variation of Sphinx pose today. So with your elbows out, it allows you to adjust your height here with your arms. If it's available to you, some people could take the elbows under the shoulders with your forearms parallel in Sphinx. So whatever feels like a comfortable height for you this morning. The neck is neutral, so you're just exploring a neutral position for your neck with the shoulders away from the ears. Feel free to find some movement through your head and neck if that feels good. And breathe. And then from here, we're going to explore a little bit of core work into like a forearm plank, keeping the tops of the feet on the mat. So what I mean by that is you just bring your legs to about hip distance apart with the tops of the feet touching. And then option here to lift your hips and pelvis, keeping the knees on the ground. So you're either using your knees here to lift, or if you really want to challenge yourself today, you can just press the tops of the feet into the mat, lift your hips and pelvis, and then gently lower down. Okay, no pressure in the lower back. Use your core, navel in, inhale, exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. When you're ready, exhale, lift. Navel in towards the spine. Inhale, lower. Just make sure you're breathing. Exhale, lift. Okay, knees or tops of the feet. Inhale, lower. 2 more times. Exhale, lift. Navel up towards the spine. Inhale, lower. And this time, just for fun, if you want to hold it, breathe here, hold it up. Breathe. Breathe for 3, 2, and then gently lower. And find any movement to release any tension. And then pop yourself back up onto your forearms, just to a comfortable height. Bend your right knee. we'll take the right arm, so you bring your left arm in front of you, and then take your right arm out to the side, reach back, and see if you can hold the outside of your right foot or ankle.
No.
That's fine, and reach for it. You can just keep reaching for it, and breathe. And then gently release. And we'll go to explore the other side, reaching out and around, bending your left knee and seeing if you can reach for your left foot. Breathe wherever you are. And gently release. Sliding your hands beneath your shoulders with your elbows in and your elbows sort of popped up like grasshopper legs. You can lower the chest a little if you want to place the forehead right on the mat or a block, that's fine. Inhale, you're going to lift your legs up here, extending through the legs, maybe reaching through the balls of the feet, even if it's just a centimeter or even if it's just an intention. And then lower the legs. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. Good. Exhale, lower. Very good. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Good for strengthening your lower core and your lower back. And one more time, maybe hold as you breathe. Hold as you breathe and then gently lower. Good. Now gently press down through the front of your pelvis. So that means that you're pressing your pubic bone down into the ground as an anchor. And then you're going to start to lift your chest with your hands pressing under your shoulders, elbows in, and you're just lifting as high is as comfortable for you today. So just your body's limit today in your cobra. Breathe. So it might feel good to really lift up, open the front body, but be pressing your pubic bone down so that you create support and space in your lower back as you lift. Your glutes are active as you do that. Breathe and gently lower. And then tuck your toes, and we're going to gently lift up onto the knees. And we're going to line the hips up over the knees. You can either have toes tucked or relax the feet, your choice. We'll walk the hands forward, extending your arms forward, and start to soften the chest towards the mat. You can either rest your forehead on a block or on the floor if it goes down to the floor. So this is like a puppy pose, or sometimes it's called melting heart, Anahat Asan. Breathe. And then option to take the right arm towards the center, turn your palm facing in so the blade of your pinky finger is on the floor. And you can take that arm towards the center of your mat, and you're leaning a little bit towards that arm to the right to stretch your right arm under the right armpit and into the shoulder, and breathe. Yeah, exactly. And then gently shift towards the other side. Left arm comes center, turn onto the blade of the pinky, your palm faces in, and you explore leaning towards the left arm. Maybe gently sinking into the left shoulder if it feels like a good stretch, and breathe wherever you are. And then gently release, and we'll slowly come up onto hands and knees in a neutral table. So hands shoulder distance apart, shoulders over the wrists, knees right under the hips. If it's a little hard on your wrists, you just slide your hands a little farther forward. You can always use fists, like back of the hands towards the mat. If bending your wrists hurts, you could try that. And we'll start to cat-cow here. So cow, your belly hangs down, your tailbone lifts, your chest come forward, maybe open your throat on an inhale. And then exhale, you reverse, rounding the spine into cat. Tailbone down, navel up, head hangs. Squeeze all the breath out. And then on your next inhale, into an arch spine. And with your exhale, into a flexed, rounded spine. And follow your breath. So a couple more like that, following your breath. Fill yourself all the way up as you arch your spine and empty yourself all the way out as you round your spine. Maybe one more cycle. And then to neutral spine. And then we're going to speed that movement up, adding some breath work in and out through the nose. If your nose is plugged, you can exhale through the mouth. Relax your throat here. So there's no ujjayi breath. You just breathe through the nose. My teacher calls it cat breathing. So and you just go at your own pace. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. And then you might need some water. So go at your own pace. Ooh, it's dry. And last 10 seconds. And 3, 2, 1. Let's inhale, and we'll exhale to child's and rest. And a bumblebee breath here. As you're ready, coming back up to hands and knees table, and we'll shift into mountain downward dog. Tuck your toes, maybe slide your hands forward, lift your knees and hips, make your body into an upside down V. Feel free to pedal your heels, wake up the backs of the legs a little more. And breathe. And breathe. Yeah, and from here we're going to transition step into a lunge on the right side. So you bring your right knee in, lift your hips, and step your right leg forward. We'll lower the back knee. So if you have, we'll be here for a little bit in this low lunge. So if you want cushioning for your left knee, that's great. You can set that up. And the right knee over the right heel or ankle. And you walk your left knee back as far as it will go for your body today. Like just to your comfortable limit. Yeah. And then you might find a block helpful here, but you're gonna either tent your fingers, you can have your palm down, or you could have your hand on a block for a little bit more support there. We'll open the right arm out and up with a big inhale breath, and then take it down with your exhale, and 4 more like that. Inhale out and up, exhale down, follow your breath. And on the last one, we'll hold it up and breathe if you like. You could start to lean back in your twist, opening the chest a little bit, taking your gaze up if it's available, and breathe. One more big breath like that. And with your next exhale, gently lower the arm. So, and you can tuck your back toes. It's optional, but sometimes it gives you more stability. You can always experiment with tucking or untucking your toes there. Now we're going to bring the body up onto the front leg here. If it's available, you bring your body up and you explore aligning your shoulders over your hips, navel in, tailbone down, and gently lunging here. Good, and then maybe you release the arms here, it's optional, and we'll inhale the arms up and exhale just the arms down. Inhale, arms up. With your exhale, your arms follow down. Inhale, they follow up, and 2 more like that. And the last one, what we'll do is we'll open the arms to open the heart and breathe. You could always bring your hands back to your front leg if you're needing more support as you breathe here. Breathe into your heart, breathe into your chest. And 1 more breath. And with an exhale, gently lower down. We'll shift the hips back a little bit, and then we'll transition the right leg back to downward dog or mountain. So come back to your mountain, connect with your breath. And then step your feet wider off your mat in your mountain, like a wide-legged mountain. And explore pushing your hips up and back into a wide-legged mountain. Fine if your knees are bent, no problem. Breathe. And then walk your hands back towards your feet, coming into sort of a wide-legged forward fold here. Feel free to bend the knees, especially if your pelvis is having a hard time tilting in your forward fold. Bend the knees and see how that helps your pelvis to tilt forward. And then you have your hands on the ground for support or a block. And you can work on extending your legs from here, just letting the pelvis tilt forward first. Let your head hang and breathe. Very nice. Breathe. And then walking your hands back into your wide-legged mountain. So you walk your hands back, I should say forward. I meant back to the front. Yeah, and then step your feet back to hip distance apart in a regular mountain and get ready to step your left foot forward. Lift your hips to step forward into your left lunge. Gently lower the right knee and slide it as far back as it will go today. And find cushioning for that knee. We'll do the same sequence on the other side. Maybe you have a block on the right side now for your right hand. Optional. And then when you feel stable in your lunge, you can inhale out and maybe up. Exhale, follow the breath down and follow your breathing. 5 times on this side. And on the 5th time, maybe holding your left arm up. Option to start to lean back into this little bit of a twist here. Just maybe leaning back, breathing into the back of the lungs for 3, 2, 1. And on an exhale, gently coming down. So you might not need your block anymore. You can shift it to the side, or sometimes it's helpful as you bring the body up, you can use your block to find your balance in your lunge with your body up. Shoulders over the hips, navel in, tailbone down. Relax your shoulders, rise through the crown, and breathe. Okay, option to release the arms, and then inhale, the arms follow the breath, and exhale, they go down. Good, beautiful. Find that movement with your breath 5 times. And on the 5th one, you can open your arms nice and wide. Breathe, opening the heart. Wherever you are, breathe. Breathe into your heart. Breathe into the back of the heart for 3, 2. One last breath. With your exhale, body comes down. And we'll shift back, stepping your left leg back, and we'll come into mountain for a moment. So just come into your mountain, connect with your breath, and then gently lower your knees to the mat. And we're gonna kneel here, so maybe sitting onto your heels. So if kneeling doesn't work for you, it's fine, you could sit down. We're gonna do a little bit of a breath work here. Yeah, you can do what you need to do to make it more comfy, or you can sit right down.
So I find this really
Hard.
stressful.
Yeah, it shouldn't be stressful. So how about sitting down? Or is there any way to make it less stressful, like placing?
Oh, my feet. I don't do this with my feet very often.
So what you could try
Let's put that between under.
is sitting
Where?
on.
Up here?
No,
Yeah. Get your attention away from your feet.
David.
Sitting on a block.
Oh, see?
Well, you could do that, or
'Cause
you can
this is
sit.
where I find it. I think is under the between the ankle.
Which part is it that's?
Oh, it's the front of my feet.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I have a blanket,
No, I'm just stretching.
and you roll it.
No, that's not it.
Sorry, I'm wrecking your video. Like, have to cut this part out. Or I can go like that. Yeah. Okay. Problem solved. Just go like this.
Sure.
Fine.
Okay. But then also, so anyway, just in case.
Okay.
Also, you can explore different possibilities of what allows you to feel more supported and more relaxed in the forms. Otherwise, just take a different form. So we're gonna do jai breathing, victory breath. Okay, jai breathing is arms up. This is the inhale. As you exhale, arms down, close fists over the thumbs. Okay, it's inhale out, exhale through the nose, but if your nose is stuffy or whatever, you can exhale through the mouth. Here we go. Relax your throat and just go to your capacity. So if it's too much for your shoulders to go all the way up, you just go part of the way. And you're exploring an even inhale, exhale. So if you need to slow it down, no problem. And you want to try and fill yourself up and empty yourself out each time. So feel free to close your eyes and feel it out. What feels right and balanced for you? And just about 10 more seconds. And 3, 2, 1, and let's inhale, reach up. Hold your breath for a moment. And then exhale, arms down, breath out, and just breathe as the body wants to. Feel free to close the eyes if you're not dizzy. Well, sometimes we get a little, you get a little dizzy. Yeah, so you can keep the eyes open. If you do end up getting dizzy or the room starts to go woo, it can be nice to lie down on your back. You don't have to do this right now, but if you do ever get dizzy, you can lie down with your knees bent and just wait until your body equalizes. And another thing is that if you do get dizzy during the breath, probably stop or slow down. Like don't push into the dizziness. Yeah, perfect.
That's not pleasant.
Yeah, exactly. Not pleasant. Okay, sounds like you've tried that before. Okay, so next one is camel, a little bit of a back bend. So we're gonna stand up on the knees if that's available to you, otherwise you could explore it seated. Knees about hip distance apart. You can either do tops of the feet or tuck your toes if that makes you feel more stable. And then you take your hands to your lower back area, maybe with your pinkies as if they're coming together or touching. And the elbows open, so the elbows hug towards each other, and that brings the shoulder blades to the back to support, and then it's going to open your chest. So when we do a back bend, we're not actually like bending the back, we're arching the spine. So you want to imagine that from your knees pressing down into the ground, there's going to be an arch through your body. And how we create that arch is the navel in, so the pelvis first, navel in, we're going to be reaching the tailbone down like an anchor into the ground. And we're going to lift the sternum, the heart, chest plate. We're going to start to lift the sternum up, maybe taking your gaze up to the ceiling and exploring from here. So as you anchor down through the tailbone, you lift the sternum up. Your pelvis and hips can lean forward as you lift your sternum up and back. Wherever you are, make sure that you can breathe so that your nervous system is not overstimulated. You're breathing for 3, 2, 1, and then use an inhale to lift up as you come forward. Gently lower down and pause. And then we're going to explore a forward fold called rabbit. Your knees come together, feet together. We're going to start in kneeling, but we won't stay here for very long. You're going to reach your arms back, outsides of your feet as if you're reaching to hold on to the outsides of your heels. Yeah, you tuck the chin towards the chest and you start to curl forward as if you're going into child's. You gently bring your forehead down either to the mat or onto a block. And then once your forehead and head is gently touching the ground, you can explore lifting your hips and pelvis up while holding onto your feet at the back, your heels at the back. Okay, and the connection of your head on the ground, it's gentle, so you're not compressing your neck there. Okay, and good, and breathe, wherever you are, breathe into this curled up rabbit form.
Is it okay to have my head, like the top of my head on?
Yes.
Or is it okay?
Yeah, for some people you're gonna roll forward right onto the top, as long as it's a gentle connection.
Yeah.
For 3, 2, 1, and then slowly your hips come down. And we're gonna roll up the opposite way we rolled in. Gently rolling up. And then we're gonna transition onto the belly. So when you're ready, lower yourself back onto your belly. Maybe supporting yourself, hands stacked, elbows out, whatever you find to be a comfortable support. Maybe rocking your pelvis side to side a little bit. And then separate your feet about hip distance apart. Bend the knees. Now you could do one side at a time. We did a little bit of a quad stretch in the beginning to warm up. So you can either reach back with just your right hand, and again, reaching back. You could start to kick your right foot into your right hand. Okay, if it's available to you, you could do both at once into a bow pose. And then there's some tricks if you can't reach. Wherever you are, breathe. Where did that, oh, there it is.
Hold our ankles or the feet?
It doesn't matter. Whatever's most comfortable for you. So you could hold, just below the toes like that, or more towards the ankles. And you can also, relax your, you can practice holding if you want, or you could do one at a time. You could either do both. So let's do one at a time.
Okay. Okay, I forget where my face, my arm is back, like.
Yeah,
Oh,
and
you're
you can
doing
hold
both.
the strap there. And then you can relax this one, just one at a time, yeah. Yeah, good. So for those of you that were doing the bow, you can rest for a moment and then gently release and we'll switch sides. And for those of you who did full bow, if you want, you can do another, do bow one more time. Or you can just rest and breathe. Would it be more comfortable to turn your arm like that?
Oh,
Is that more comfortable?
yeah, that's fine. That's
And
good.
breathe.
Then my arm is at least straight, right?
Mm-hmm. It doesn't have to be straight, but basically you're just looking for whatever's most comfortable. Okay, everybody, let's gently relax. And rest.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Find some movement or just be still and rest. So now we're going to get into the shoulder and chest on one side. It's similar to wing on the ground. We're going to take, I'll turn this way so it's a little bit easier to see. We're going to take the right arm out like a cactus, sort of 90 degrees at the elbow, but then slide it a little higher so that your elbow is above the shoulder. And you can always adjust this according to what feels better in your body, but this is a general starting point. Okay, then just like we do with wing on the ground, we're open like a T. So if you prefer that today, you could do that. I was noticing it's quite a different sensation, so you could explore whatever you like to do today. You're going to take your right ear on the mat looking to the left. You're going to use your left hand beside, like under your shoulder, to press or roll the body towards, sort of away from the left side of your mat and sort of into that right shoulder to find a stretch there. You're going to use your left leg as a balance or support. So wherever it feels best for you to place your left leg in this form. And even your left arm, you're just using it to help into the stretch or to support you in coming out of it if it feels too much.
And is the stretch in your shoulder? Like in the front of your, like that's where I
The
feel.
back of my shoulder.
In this variation, it's going to be different for everyone. Well, maybe just don't go quite as far into it. In this variation, I feel it more in the front.
Yeah, that's where I'm like
Yeah,
on my
in the
chest.
chest.
Almost. Yes,
Yeah, exactly.
I feel it here.
Yeah, and you could also feel it quite a bit there. It's going to be different for everybody. So let's gently roll out of that one and rest on your belly. Just pause.
Oh, he's got his arm straight.
Yeah, that you can do that too. It's different. It's sort of more into the shoulder blade, I would almost say, although I don't like to say absolutes because it's different for everybody.
Exactly.
So let's explore the other side when you're ready, no rush. If you want, you can take your left arm sort of to a cactus, maybe the shoulder slides a little higher, so David, gently come out of that. I'm going to see, how does it feel to slide your hand higher?
Oh, fine.
And then see how that feels. And then, yeah, you can either lift yourself up or you can rest
Oh, that's
your
okay.
head. Okay, you prefer to lift into it. Yeah, it's great. You're exploring. Make sure you're breathing wherever you are.
Oh man, that really pulls in the shoulder.
And gently release. Make sure it's a good pulling. So gently release. Find any movement or stillness that feels good after that. Notice the sensations. And then we're going to flip over onto the back. Have your purple block nearby. And then bolsters. Yeah, I can help you with that. So have a block close enough that you can Grab it. Hang on to the back. Okay, you could bend your knees with your feet on the ground. And we'll just arms by your sides, palms on the floor. So with your feet about hip distance apart, heels nice and close to the hips, you could start to just rock your pelvis or roll your pelvis back and forth. So not like rolling it or tilting it, I should say, back and forth. So basically your spine is going to go from an arch where the tailbone is pressing down and there's a lot of space under the lower back and the ribs pop up. That will be your inhale breath. It opens, that's like your arch. It opens the front of the body. And then as you tilt the pelvis the other way, keeping the hips on the ground, but your tailbone starts to curl, navel in, back of the back presses into the ground. That's more of like a rounded spine. That's your exhale. So just a few inhales and exhales, tilting your pelvis back and forth. And surprisingly, I don't know if it's surprising, but simple movements can actually be so quite powerful and healing for the body. So this type of tilting the pelvis back and forth, it can be really nourishing for your spine and nervous system. And then you're going to take your block, so come to a neutral spine there, take your block and hold it between your thighs the skinny way. Gently hold or squeeze it between your thighs. Yeah. With your arms by your sides, palms on the ground. Inhale. As you exhale, press through the feet, lifting your pelvis up as you hold your block. And then inhale, lower down. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. Two more like that. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. And this last time, if you like, you can hold the hips and pelvis up as you continue to breathe. As you hold your hips and pelvis up, you can squeeze the block with your inner thighs. Keeping the pelvis up, gently release the squeeze. And then squeeze the block, keeping your hips up if you can. And release the squeeze. And then squeeze one more time. Squeeze the block with your inner thighs. And then gently lower, release and lower your hips down. Now take the block and just gently place it to the side. And then one more time, if you like, we can lift up into a bridge. Lift the pelvis and hips up into bridge. Hold here, pressing through the feet. Imagine that you're pressing the floor away from you to lift your pelvis. You can even lift your sternum, and if you want to walk your shoulders underneath, and for some people, if it's available, you can interlace the fingers, coming up onto the upper arms, lifting your hips and pelvis, lifting your sternum up towards your chin, and breathe. No strain in the neck, and breathe. And maybe one more breath here, and then gently, maybe opening up your shoulders so that you can gently lower down. Okay, now we'll bring the right knee in for Pavanmuktasana, interlacing the fingers below the right knee, hugging the right knee towards the right shoulder. So what you're going to do is you're actually going to take the leg out to the side a little bit and hug it up towards the shoulder, and then option to extend your left leg or keep it bent. And breathe. Yeah, so you can interlace on top of the knee as if you're bending.
I thought it was underneath.
Yeah, more like that. An option to extend your left leg. Yeah,
Okay.
and breathe there. Yeah,
I missed that.
that's okay. And breathe into the right side of your abdomen for 3, 2, massaging there with your breath. 1. Now before you release the right leg down, we're gonna explore a twist from here. So you release the squeeze, but you take your left knee in your right knee, you reach your left arm across to hold the outside of your right knee. So your right knee can come to 90 degrees now, and you open your right arm out to the side, and you take your right knee with your left hand, guiding it over across the body into a twist. I'm sure I could have done that in less words, but that's just
No.
how it came out today.
That's
So
fine.
I'm sure you've been here before. Yeah, in a twist. And breathe. So with every exhale breath, you can imagine that the right knee is softening towards the left in the twist, but your right shoulder is softening into the ground, so they're almost like moving opposite each other with every exhale. One more breath.
How far does this go? Like,
Just to your limit. Like some people, the knee will come all the way down to the ground. And if you want, you could turn your chin opposite the knee because your upper body is turning that way.
oh,
Yeah, and your lower body's turning that way. There you go. One more breath here. And then with your next inhale, let's bring it all back to center. You can bend your knees, feet on the ground, and sort of align your spine so that it's straight if it got wonky there.
this would be a great yin position.
Yeah, you can hold it for a while. So we're going to do Pavanmuktasana, wind removing on the other side. You bring your left knee in now, bend the knee, interlace your fingers on top of the left knee or below it, I should say, more on the shin. Now, let it open up to the side, hug it up towards your left shoulder, and then option to extend your right leg. Option. Yeah, and so the idea is that you're hugging your left knee up towards your left shoulder, and you're breathing deeply to massage your abdomen on the left side there with your breathing and into the compression that you're creating. And it's really good for your digestive and abdominal organs. Massaging the descending colon on this side, and the stomach is a little bit more on the left, and the spleen, and all of that good stuff. One more breath. And then we'll reach across the body, holding the left knee with the right hand. So take your right hand sort of to the outside of your left knee. Your left knee can now be 90 degrees. Open your left arm out to the side, and then start to guide your left knee and leg over across the body towards the right. Okay, option to take the gaze towards the left, towards the extended arm. So your upper body and maybe your neck is twisting opposite the hips and lower body. Here you go, and connect with your breath.
Completely different than the other side.
It feels completely different.
Yeah.
From the outside, it looks very similar to me.
Yeah.
So isn't that interesting? And with every exhale, see if you can just soften into the twist. Maybe a little less effort, unless it feels really good to stretch into it.
It's almost to relax into it.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, sometimes I like to explore forms where I'm using some effort into it, but then take some time where you're more softening into it. And you can experience the difference. And different things might feel appropriate at different days or different times of your life. So gently, let's come back on an inhale back to center and just align your spine. We're gonna bring the knees in And just hold them, one in each hand, and maybe do little circles in one direction, which massages the back of your hips and your sacrum, and then other direction. And then we'll hug the knees right in. So you can either use both hands, or you can try to wrap your arms around your knees and hold on to whatever you can. And you're squeezing them right in. This is the final part of Pavan Muktasan. Squeeze both knees in, maybe even lift your head and bring your forehead as close to your knees as you can. And breathe into the squeeze. And then gently lower your head and gently release your legs. Your feet can come down. Now we're going to take the bolster or a block. The bolster is going to be much more comfortable for you. You might sit yourself up to move into this. A supported back bend. So I'm just going to use a block to show you, but the bolster is much more comfy. We'll place the bolster or the block behind the upper back and the head. So if you're using a bolster, you're going to be resting your head right on the bolster. If you're using a block, or you could use 2 blocks if you want support for your head. And the idea is just that we have a supported back bend here.
Does your butt come off the floor?
No, it's going to stay on the ground. And there's different ways to help that. If it wants to come up, we can place something underneath your hips. Yeah, and you can either extend, so with your legs, you're going to explore. Some people like to bring the soles of the feet together and knees open, but that can be really, with the weight of gravity, it might end up feeling like too much pulling in the groin area. So that's an option. You could try it.
What was that?
Soles of the feet together like a butterfly. But then bring the feet fairly close, or just to whatever feels best for you. Yeah, and if you want to spend some time there, but you'll notice over time, it might start to either feel intense in the hips or the groin. So then when that starts to happen, you want to be able to completely relax here. Then maybe just extend your legs to relax. The shoulders relax around the support of the bolster, meaning your arms just sort of splay out to the sides. Yeah. And we'll start to really explore the possibility of softening and letting go. Here especially, this form is supporting us to open the front of the body by supporting a gentle back bend here. You could feel the support beneath you, which allows the front of the body to opening through the pelvis and opening through the front of the body across the chest. Allowing the breath to slow down and become softer, maybe bringing awareness to your heart as you breathe, remembering your intention. We're just tuning into the heart area and listening for any messages, any guidance. See if you can soften any unnecessary holding. Come back to the heart. And just a couple cycles of breath. Maybe really focusing on the exhale breath. Softening a little deeper. And then as you're ready, just follow the body's natural impulses to slowly transition out of this form onto your back to set up for Shavasana. So whatever feels comfortable for you to start to shift or roll, yeah. And we'll move the bolsters. Maybe you like to have the bolster under your knees for Shavasana.
I'll take the window closed.
Sure. Yeah, that breeze can really
It's wonderful. It's been
pull you
wonderful.
down when you're just lying.
It's been wonderful.
I'm in heaven.
Perfect. Are you, would you like a bolster under both knees, or you're good with your...
No, it's just this one
Your little-
doesn't go all the way down.
Sure, perfect.
And it would go down if the calf was there, but the calf, not all the calf muscles there, so.
Yeah, no
That's the way
problem.
it goes.
Whatever is most comfortable for
Yeah.
you
Yes,
is
thank you
perfect.
very much.
Coming back to your breath. And maybe coming back to your heart center, feeling the support of the surface beneath you. Letting the weight of the body relax back into the surface. Letting all the weight of the body go so that you can sink back and deeply rest here. With maybe awareness at the heart, letting the breath become softer, slower, more subtle. And the breathing can just happen on its own, where you can just shift your awareness to witnessing the breath, witnessing the body. And feeling more into the energy of the heart. Feeling into your deepest heart's desire for your life, for yourself. What is most important to your heart, to you, as you move forward into this new season? We never stop learning about ourselves, and we're always evolving. What is new and sincere for you now in your life? yourself. The part of you that is bright and is animating this body, your spirit. There's a glow, and there's a natural joyfulness, or blissfulness quality to your spirit. Maybe there's like an internal smile, the sweetness of your spirit, the playfulness. As you move forward into cultivating your heartfelt desire for your life, a joyfulness. You can deepen your breath and start to feel how the breath expands the body as you lie here. So some subtle expansion and movement as you deepen your inhales, and then that contraction, softening of the exhale. So like a balloon, you inhale, see if you can feel that expansion throughout the whole body, maybe to your toes even. And exhale, softening in towards the spine. Some nice deep breaths, bringing the prana in, all the cells, receive the prana, exhale, releasing toxins. As you're ready, you could find a little bit of movement in your fingers or toes, whatever feels right to start to come back into the body. When you're ready, you could open the eyes if you like and see the space around you. Coming back into the space, deepening your breath, finding some movement. If you like, you can stretch your arms overhead, or maybe just rock your head from side to side. Do what feels good and slowly start to transition your body up to a seat.
He looks like a bug in the knot.
Yeah.
I really like your mats. They're
Yeah.
kind of nice. Are they pretty?
Oh yeah, they're gorgeous. So we'll come to a seat sort of in the same form where you began. If you like, you can close your eyes and just notice any differences in how your body feels and how you feel. And then maybe bringing your hands to your heart again, or in prayer, tuning into your intention, tuning into your heart. And instead of the bumblebee breath, we'll close with the sound of Om. One big audible Om, if you like, to connect in sound vibration. And when you're ready, exhale all the breath out, and then deep inhale. Have a beautiful day. Happy spring. Namaste.
Thank you.
Thank you.